When you think about typography, what's the first thing you think about? It's text. And to most people, all typography is really a matter of font choice. Yes, typography includes font choice, and it's about how the fonts work or don't, but it's also about how the text on your page interacts with the whole of the page and other non-text elements. We've all heard the saying, you don't judge a book by its cover, but we also all know that that's not true. You've got a ugly cover, nobody is going to open your book. But even if you have a great cover, once they get inside the book, does your text represent itself well? Now, suppose you pick a book up and this is what you're presented with. We've got multiple font choices, different sizes, uneven spacing between the paragraphs, the margins are far too small, there's nowhere to get hold of the book and hold it comfortably without obscuring the text. Most people aren't going to get very far through this book. On the other hand, if you're presented with nicely balanced text, the feet are even, everything just gets out of the way and lets the reader read, you stand a much better chance of making sales. And that's what we're going to look at in this course. We're going to work through all those little things that mean the difference between an amateur looking book and a professional looking book. We're going to deal with trim sizes, then we're going to move on and look at the page layout and margins so that you know how big a text block to put on that page and how much space to leave. Yes, we will look at font sizes and typefaces, but then we'll be moving on to looking at the white space. We'll be looking at the anatomy of a paragraph, and we'll also be considering the front and back matter, all the stuff other than the main text that has to go in the book. Where do you put it, what order you put it in, and how do you differentiate between your main text and all that other stuff. We'll be looking at running headers, we'll be looking at page numbers, how to organise them, where to put them, and we'll be looking at those awkward chapter pages that need to be different than the other pages in the book. We'll be moving on and looking at runts, rivers and ladders, widows, orphans and square feet, and don't worry if none of that means anything to you now. We deal with it slowly at a nice even pace, and you'll only ever be dealing with one thing at a time. Near the end, we'll look at dealing with a table of contents and presenting your contents in a way that makes sense, and then we'll move on to how to export to PDF to get an excellent print ready copy. So if you've got your manuscript and you're ready to go, let's get started.